Hey there everybody, it's ShadwSonic here to record a bit of a part 0 tutorial thing for my co-op let's play of Fortune Street. Or at the very least a few boards of it, because I'm not entirely sure how many of them I'll be able to do with my... how many more of them I'll be able to do with my friends, if at all. But... okay, you may be wondering why I'm not recording this with my friends, this little tutorial thing. Well, that's because I had initially done it with them, you know, because Stroke didn't know how this game worked, and I figured it would be a good idea to record his first impressions of that as the tutorial, but the video glitched out. Which means I can't use that take, so now I have to do it here. Oh well. So I'm just going to run through the tutorial, give some descriptions and whatnot, so that those of you who don't know how this game works can know how it works before getting to any of the boards. So, Fortune Street, like it's saying there, is an action-adventure board game. Eh? Why action-adventure board game? Okay, the aim of the game is to get rich quick. Sorta like Monopoly. Be the first to ramp up your net worth to the target amount and romp your way back to the bank to clinch victory. Okay, so... like Monopoly, the aim is to get money. Unlike Monopoly... the game doesn't end. The game's ending condition is not somebody goes bankrupt. The ending condition is getting a net worth of all values, that's on-hand cash, shops, stocks, etc., and then getting back to the bank while still having more than that target amount. What this means is that it never feels like the game just plods on and on and on without something actually happening. Because usually what happens is that people get to the point where they know who's going to win, but it takes forever to bankrupt. Of course, there's a way for bankruptcy to end this game too, but it's not the only one. Which is nice. Okay, for the purposes of this tutorial, we'll be going up against Toad and Slime, who are two of the stupidest characters. And the order of play here will be me, then Toad, then Slime. In actual games, we would roll a slot machine to randomly determine who goes first and second and so on. So, as you can see by that description, the target amount of net worth is 8,000 gold, and the bankruptcy limit is 1 player, meaning if even one person loses all their cash, the game ends. Yeah, I just said that game. Now, there are ways to adjust the bankruptcy limit so that the game will continue until 2 people have gone, or until 3 people have gone. Which you may want to do for fun at some times, but for this playthrough, we just use a bankruptcy limit of 1. Not that it's likely to come into effect, or maybe it has. I don't know. I'm not quite sure I remember everything exactly. So let's see. Okay, when someone goes bankrupt, the player with the highest net worth remaining in the game is declared the winner. Okay, first things first, the assets. At the bottom right of the screen is the asset info window. It shows all the player's ready cash and net worth at a glance. So my net worth is 1,800, and I have 1,800 ready cash. Same thing for Toad, same thing for Slime. Yeah, ready cash, and The right-hand figure is the total of ready cash and assets and stocks and property, in other words, net worth. The first player to achieve a net worth of 8,000 or more and get back to the bank is the winner. So you could have 99999 net worth, and someone else could just have 8,001 in this situation. But if the 8,001 person got back to the bank first, they would win. The game actually knows this and has a special trophy for accomplishing just that feat. But that's not important for knowing how to play the game, so let's see how we make gold. Okay. The best way is... well, not the best way. One way is to collect all 4 suits and get back to the bank to receive a promotional bonus. Starts off at about 900, and gets bigger each time you receive it. You can only pick up suits by landing on or passing over suit squares. Not entirely true, but I'll get to that later. So, let me change the options because... okay, good, it still restores my normal settings. There's game speed, which makes things go faster or slower. Obviously, I try to set this to fast whenever possible. Chat speed, which this game has a lot of little witty sayings that the computer players will do for anything. You know, their turn starts, you pull a move that benefits them, you pull a move that hurts them, etc, etc, etc. Usually that just gets annoying because it's fun at first, but it starts repeating on you, so... eh. You'll see some examples of that in the first board, but afterwards we'll just turn it off. You know, because everyone gets the idea by that point. Alright, enough of that. Time for me to roll. So with that, I can move 1 space. Which means I can either land on this 90 shop, or this 350. Let's do that. Anyway, this is a shop square, which are key to making your fortune. Nobody owns this shop yet, so I can buy it by paying the shop value in gold coins. In this case, 350. Every time another player lands on one of your shops, he or she must pay your shop's prices to buy goods. In this case, the default value would be 63 gold. This is the basic way of earning money through property. Your ready cash will take a hit when you buy a shop, but the shop's value counts towards your net worth, so that figure will not fall. In other words, I don't have to worry about my standing in the game from a negative viewpoint when I buy a shop. As long as your net worth stays above 0, you can't go bankrupt, so don't be afraid to splash out on shops rather than in them. What this means is that your on-hand cash can actually be negative, and as long as your net worth is still in the positive, you're still in the game. Now, about districts. In standard rules, the shade of the border around each shop square on the board tells you what district it belongs to. Standard rules being the default version of the game, I suppose. It's the only one that we're going to do in this playthrough because easy rules are kinda luck-based to an extent that I don't really find it to be as worth playing. But standard rules, oh, that's a whole other story. So yeah, basically districts work a lot like... are color-coded a lot like how Monopoly districts are color-coded. If you manage to acquire more and more shops in a district until you have total domination there, that being what this game calls a monopoly, your shops will boom and you'll really be in the money. It's a sure way to bring you closer to victory. And now, one big difference between this game and Monopoly. I know, I keep referencing Monopoly, but they're two games that have pretty much the same sort of goal, so I'm going to be mentioning that quite a bit throughout here. In Monopoly, you could only start boosting your shop's values once you had, well, a monopoly. Not so here. You can boost your shop's values anytime you land on one of your own shops. And the boosts from having additional shops in your districts means that are not just if you have all of them, but rather if you have 2, they'll boost each other, if you'll have 3, they'll all boost each other, etc., etc. This means big districts like this red one were pretty good to have a total monopoly in, because then that's 6 shops all boosting each other. It's an exponential increase thing. So yes, I'm going to be buying this shop. And Toad will make his move. Oh, you cheeky little fungus. Alright, now I'm going to show off a more advanced technique here. I'm going to manage shops, and I'm going to offer to buy a shop. You can do this at any time before you roll, which is another kind of benefit over Monopoly, because that one's a little more strict in unfun ways on how you can do that. Also, you have a lot of leeway into how you do it. Like, I could increase by just 1 gold at a time if I wanted. Or a bunch of gold, like that. And it'll even show how much the multiplication of the shop value is. I'll just do 1 and see how he goes. Now, Slime is an idiot, so you can't expect other computers to make that sort of stupid mistake. In fact, he's so much of an idiot that I would bank on being able to just buy shops out of him for a steal. Normally. I didn't buy the shop there because I feel I can get him to drop it even lower than a mere 2 times. He's just more attached to that shop because that's the only one he has. Ah, darn it, now I have to land on one of them. I'll land on Bluey here. And I lose 18 gold, whereas he gains it. Now, interesting thing about this. You can buy other players' shops without their consent if you're willing to pay 5 times a shop's value. This is known as a forced buyout. But if you don't have the ready cash or stock-based assets available, you can't force anyone to do anything. Now, an interesting thing about forced buyouts. You'll be spending 5 times the shop value, but the person you're buying it from will only receive 3 times the shop value. So, that is something you might want to keep in mind when trying to make a deal. If you agree to spend 4 times, then you're saving yourself 1-time value of money, and the other person is gaining 1-time value more of money. A bit of a win-win there, but eh. It's generally not a good idea to buy out, though. Unless you really want the space. And even then, there are ways of protecting yourself against it. Anyway, the space that Toad just landed on is a... what kind of space is that called? Well, whatever, you saw what its effects were. It closed all the shops that he owned, which means that anybody landing on them pays nothing. Okay, this basically just lets you roll again, as you saw. And now I've landed on my own property, so I can choose to pay gold to expand it or another shop I own, which is known as investing. The more capital I invest, the bigger they get and the higher the shop prices become. You'll notice that you'll see that investment amount under max capital there. That is the maximum amount of gold I can place into a shop. That increases the more shops I have in the same district. So right now it would be just 125, but if I were to get all the other shops, it would get a bit more ridiculous. I'm not going to invest right now because of stocks, which I'll get to later. Ah, thank you, Slime. Okay, as you saw, he landed on one of my shops, so I took that amount of gold from him. And he didn't buy out either. I'm going to take this, which means I'll have an additional more than one shop in the same district. And that will make both the maximum capital and the shop prices go up. So of course I'm going to take this. Oh, by the way, that snazzy costume I have and that boo following behind me, that's things I unlocked with a bit of a currency called stamp points. You can only get those by playing single player a good amount, which I have. But because this was mostly recorded on Zebulon's Wii instead of mine, like this is, you're not going to see any of these snazzy outfits. So, sorry about that. So, yeah. And that's just going to get bigger and bigger each time I get another shop. Thank you, Slime. Ah, landed right on the bank. Now, normally, you don't get to go backwards, but if you land on the bank, you have the option of going in any direction you want from there. And there's my pay packet. So I can... Now, the real fun begins, which is the part that Easy Rules doesn't have. Stocks. When I buy stocks, the stock price goes up and I make money. This is the golden rule of money making in the standard rules. Now, of course, I want to get stocks. Now, when it comes to buying stocks, you should know the stock price and check out all the shops in the district. A district's price increases as its aggregate shop value increases. In other words, as the shops there expand, the stock price goes up. And you can tell how much the shops are likely to expand by keeping an eye on each shop's maximum possible capital investment. Shops that still have a lot of investment potential left are likely to expand a lot, whereas shops that don't aren't going to expand much more. So, by watching each shop's max capital, you can figure out which districts might see the greatest stock price rises. Of course, you also have to consider whether you yourself own any shops in the district in question. By buying a lot of stocks in districts that you own shops in, the stock prices rises as you expand your own shops, and you make gold hand over fist. This is why I did not invest in the shops earlier. I was waiting to make a killing here. Now, you can only buy up to 99 stocks each time. And stock price only changes when you buy or sell 10 or more stock. So, I'm going to spend 99 here and get effectively 99 free cash. There we go. Thank you for your contribution, Toad. And Slime, what are you gonna do? Oh, land on the bank, just like me. Good. Now, he only bought 20 stock, which isn't really that smart. But keep in mind, again, he's Slime. He's stupid. Now, that Slime has a couple shops. Let's see what he's willing to part with that for. No. One, two, three. Yes! Another shop in the district for me! Which means they're all going to increase tremendously. See that? And he's screwed. Oh yeah, when they do that zoom in thing, you know that you're getting a bunch of stuff. Now, what you just saw there with dividend payouts, those aren't as important as other methods of gaining money with stocks, but whenever a sale is made in a district that you have stock in, you'll get a small percentage of that sale in return. Now, I think I have enough stock in this district to begin investing. 70, 150, 930. I think I am going to do about half of this. Just because. And bada bing, bada boom, that's a big shop increase, which then ups the stock price, which ups my net worth. Yeah. Now, Slime, where do you want to go? There? You should have gone on your own space. I mean, you're an idiot, but still. Now, interesting thing about this minus thing, it'll show you exactly how many spaces you can go. Like here, I'll take 6 to go there. So, which way should I go? Up or down? Obviously, the correct answer is down, because that passes over 2 shops owned by other people, whereas this way only passes... whereas the other way would only pass over 1. And I'm rewarded by getting yet another shop. Oh, yay, Toad, you got a promotion. Nice, nice. Can I have a small piece of that? Thank you. Oh, and you may have noticed, Toad infested in this district as well. That is a technique called piggybacking. See, he isn't expecting to do much with his own stuff, but he knows that I'm going to be doing quite a bit in that neighborhood by myself. So he put some of his own stock to ride on my coattails, as it were. Now that I have negative value, though, I need to sell some of it, which I will do from here. That hurts both of us, but not that badly. Okay. And once again I land on the bank! Nice, nice! Big pile of money, which I will put into the district and regain my superiority there. See, this is a fun sort of game, isn't it? Oh, and he invested there so that I can't buy it out from him. And also for stock price increase. And he sold 9 stocks so that the value doesn't decrease anymore and thus hurt him. Now, I wonder... Oh, Slime, how much are you willing to sell this for? There we go. Mine. And now they all increase exponentially. But I'm not done. No, 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 no. Let's see what you want for this baby. I'll take it. Now, obviously, I can't do this as well with my friends because they're not idiotic computers. Ooh, I can even buy this shop! And bada bing, bada boom! Values go through the roof more! Of course, now I have to sell stocks. But that's no problem, because I've got 5 out of the 6 spaces on that district. And 3 of the 4 on the other one. And he's screwed. Money, money, money! Haha! Now, land on my own shop, and I'm going to invest here so that I shore up some of its value. Let's see, how much should I spend there? This is the sort of craziness that I love in this sort of game. And down the drain your money goes. Where it stops, my wallet! Oh man, why the heck have I not recorded in so freaking long? This is fun as heck! Oh, the music! This is what happens when somebody has more than the target amount. Music gets all hyper. I especially like the Mario-themed version. So, all I need to do is get back to the bank to clinch victory. But... I think I am going to do a little more screwing around here. Like, say... this. If he gets a 2, he's pretty much done for. Oh, I knew I should have done it there. I wanted to bankrupt one of them. Yep, there's a 2. He's gonna get his promotion. But it's not gonna be... oh, just barely enough to survive! Or not. And thus he goes bankrupt. Which, because the bankruptcy limit was 1, the highest net worth wins, which is me! And that's how you play Fortune Street, everybody. So, yeah, I'll be posting this, and then shortly after that, I will start posting the boards that have already been recorded with Stroke and Zebulon. Now, the easy rules, like that says, are a simpler version of the game that supposedly absolutely anyone can enjoy. There's no stocks, and the way districts work are simply by how many shops are in a row that are owned. So, it basically boils down to luck of the draw a lot more, which isn't as fun. So, yep, that's it. And now, before I leave off here, I believe there is a certain purple plumber who is kinda cheesed at me for having left my channel so empty for so long. Of course I'm upset! How do you think that looks on me? Well, at least you're back. Yeah, true. So, Anthony, can you give off that little ending shtick once more? It's Waluigi! Anyway, if you liked the video, then be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and favorite, so that I can become super popular! And him too, I suppose. Even though he left off recording for so long. Thank you. I would berate what you just said a moment ago about the leaving off on the recording, but I kinda deserved it. Anyway, be sure to let me know what you want to see in future Let's Plays as well. What I did right, what I did wrong, what games you want to see me play, etc, etc. So, until next time, which is, for me, is actually quite a ways back in the past when I recorded a board with Stroke and Zebulon. This is ShadwSonic, signing out.